Hey viewers! This is a topic that comes up a lot in our community, and I always want to tell my story, but it takes forever. So I just decided I'm going to make a video about it. Now, it all started back, I don't even remember how many years ago, before my mother had her first gift shop. And the two of us had passed this store hundreds of times maybe, and we had never gone in even though we thought it looked really cool. So one day we decided to go into this store, and the owner of the store immediately became one of our very good friends, and eventually she passed the shop on to my mother, and that was my mother's first gift shop. And this Native American woman who owned the shop, like I said, has become a very good friend of ours, and she was one of the first people besides my mother that really knew of my path and that I was studying Wicca and stuff like that. And, you know, she talked to me a lot about meditation and just a lot of things, and she helped me out by letting me talk to her. And obviously, since she owned a gift shop, she had a lot of little items like incense and candles and things like that that I could get, or that sometimes she would give me as a gift. And one of the gifts that she gave me early on in my path is my besom. My broom came from this Native American woman, and she also gave one to my little brother, and she told us what to do for sort of like a dedication or blessing for the broom. And so I did that, and I explained that in my, I think my altar video. I talk about my besom, and I talk about her and what she told me to do with it. But anyway, at that point, she also told me never to buy my own tools. And that was fine, because I'm lucky enough that, you know, she and my mother and other friends of theirs have access to a lot of items, and because they own businesses, and so they're constantly having access to these things, and so I can get them as gifts, and that's really nice. So it didn't bother me that she said not to buy my own tools. But obviously, I realize now that people don't always have those connections, and that you have to buy your own tools, but I still don't. I still prefer to wait until they come to me, or at the very least, I wait until I stumble upon something that's just so wonderful that I need to get it. But pretty much now I know that the reason she told me never to buy my own tools is that, and this is also my opinion, that the problem with a lot of new witches, especially younger people starting to study the craft, is that they think they need to get all of the tools first thing, and they need to get all the fancy stuff in order to do anything. That people think they can't start working and practicing things like that without having the formal tool, and that is ridiculous. And what it did for me was it helped me know that I could do things either by repurposing a household item as a magical tool, or by using my hands and the power that was innately within me the entire time. And that has helped me so much today, so that even though I do have more tools now than I started with, more formal tools, I still am able to, if I'm in a setting where I don't have my tools with me, I still know exactly what I can use that someone might just have lying around that could be cleansed for that purpose and used on just a temporary basis. Or I also know how to use nothing but myself, nothing but my hands and my mind, and that is a great asset for me, I think, because especially being here on a college campus, I can't have a lot of things, and so I need to know how to do it with very minimal physical objects. And so I thank her very much for that. And like I said, I know that a lot of people don't have access to, you know, people who are willing to give them tools like that. And so yes, I think it's fine that people do buy their own tools, as long as, I feel, as long as they recognize that they don't need to get everything right away. You know, I like to hear that people learn how a certain tool works by, you know, using something else, or by just visualizing it. And then when they really feel that it's necessary for them and their path and that they can afford it and they have access to it, then they can go ahead and get the fancy thing. And it's completely fine to be fancy, and it's wonderful. But it just really saddens me that people spend so much money on things that they don't need right away. And that is where I'm coming from with this. Also, I would have to say that I do buy certain things for my craft, like things that you use all the time that are depleting quickly, like candles, incense holders, things like that, oils, herbs, that sort of thing. I will buy for myself because it's sort of ridiculous to wait for that to be a gift, because then you would never have it. And don't get me wrong, I really love having candles and incense and oils and things like that as gifts, and I do get those things as gifts, but not as often, and so not as often as I would need to use them, rather. But my mortar and pestle was a gift from my mother. My besom, like I said, was a gift from this Native American woman, and she also gave me a lot of little things like stones and incenses and things like that. I can't remember what else she got me. My mother made my spirit board. My mother bought me my pendulum from a place in Pennsylvania. We were at like a psychic fair, a metaphysical fair type thing. And so a lot of what I use is gifts or things that, my bell was a gift from my ex-boyfriend that we actually found at an antique shop, so it was fairly cheap as well, which I love. I love just finding old things like that and repurposing them. I don't have an athame yet because really I don't think I would ever use it. I have a wand. My wand was a gift from my mother, but I don't think I would ever really use an athame except for symbolism. And that, one of the gifts that is supposed to be for my birthday that just recently passed last month from my mother is supposed to be a set of 2 small letter openers that actually look like swords, and I haven't gotten those yet because they're at the co-op, and the co-op is only open on Saturdays, so she hasn't been able to pick those up. But that sort of thing is what I would use for the symbolism of an athame. So, you know, every time this topic comes up and I say things like, yeah, no, I don't buy my own tools, and people are like, why? Is it bad that I'm buying my own tools? No, it's not bad. I don't think that at all. I just don't want people to feel like they have to buy everything right away, and they need to know that it's not necessary. It's only necessary when you feel that you're ready for it and you have the means to get it, or someone gives it to you, which, as you all will agree, it's so much better and greater. Making your own tools is also really great, but not everyone has the ability or the skill or the time to do that, you know? So, I mean, I haven't made any of my tools. My mom has made them for me, but I haven't had the time to make any. So, that is my explanation of why I don't buy my tools. It's not because I'm opposed to people buying tools. It's because, well, I just told you like 5 times. So this video is ready to be over. Thank you for watching. Until next time, blessed be.